Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Steamrail Open Day. Today's our first day and we're going to be going around over the next couple of days having a look at all the exhibits and all the things that are going on here. I'll try and get you a ride on a steam locomotive. There's a train going up and down the track over there, so we might try and hop on board that and have a look around. They're also going to be operating an AEC Regal Mark III bus, which we'll go for a ride on as well. I've got to do a lot of work here with DERMPAV, but I'll try and get you around and have a look at all the different stuff that's going on and what's happening, and then we can take it from there. I hope it'll be an interesting event for us and hope it's successful, because we can earn quite a bit of money out of all of this. We operate a sausage sizzle, which we'll have a look at, and so I'm hoping it's going to be a good event for all the organisations concerned. So we'll zoom you in and show you what's going on. Here we go. So what we're in the process of doing now is reinvigorating the Winton engine. Today's Saturday, the day of the open day, and we're going to zoom you in and let you say, so we're going to zoom you in and show you just what we're up to and what we're doing. So here we go. So we have the rocker cover off cylinders 3 and 4. And we're operating a pre-lube device over there, and we're going to watch the oil come up onto the rocker gear, and then we know the engine's pre-lubed. So if you want to turn it on, Phil. So we've got a little pre-lube pump motor thing down here, and when the cocks are open, it pumps oil out of the oil tank through the engine and pressurises the engine. As you can see there, we've got oil up at all the rocker gears, and it's starting to manifest itself out of the lines on the side and filling up all the places that it needs. You can see it dripping down there, so we've got enough oil in the engine now, so we can turn that off now. Thanks. So now we shut these cocks, and now we're actually good to start it, and there it is running. And as you can see down on the gauge down there, it's got oil pressure, and it's making all the right burbling noises for a Winton engine. But we better not run it too long, because it's supposed to run for the open day, so we'll turn it off. So here we have R707, and they're out giving it a polish and a wash even. Make it look nice for open day. And here's our setup. So we're having the sausages, and they are $2.50, and that is with onion or without onion, whatever you please. We're doing tea and coffees and hot chocolates for the first time this year, and we're charging $2.50 for them. Water's $2 and all the soft drinks are $2. And here's our setups in here. There's Max. Say hi, Max.
How are you? Hey, Collie.
So then we've got our drinks in here in the ice. And then we've got our water things here. You're doing their water things.
Urns, they're called.
Who are they?
Urns.
Oh, all right, they're urns. John just told me that these are urns. And this one looks like it's boiling. Oh yeah, it is. There's a lot of rapid evolution happening in there. Oh, do it.
Got it?
No, I haven't. And here's Chris, and Chris has got the barbecue fired up. Say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
They all do that. Something definitely wrong with them. And then we've got a bit of an outdoor area here, and where you can sit down out here under a gazebo, and oh no, a Gaze Pro it says there, and of course you can enjoy the sights and sounds of a steam engine. There's the Peter. Let's go and see what the Peter's doing. So this is an R-Class steam locomotive, number 711. It's an oil burner. We've been on this one before, but let's go again. And here's a fireman type person. Now over here we've got the driver's controls, and this thing here is the sand valve, and this is the cylinder cocks. Automatic brake valve for the train. This is the independent, just puts the locomotive on and gives him the ability to bail the brake off. So if he makes an automatic application, he can put this into the release position and release the engine brake so that the train's just pulling him up. And he's got this wheel what's it thing here, and this wheel alters the cut-off of the steam engine, so it varies the amount of steam that's going into the cylinders. And he's got a sector strip down here, and at the moment it's in mid-gear so that he's not in forward and he's not in reverse, so therefore you'd be able to open the regulator and the engine wouldn't go anywhere until you actually wind it into whichever gear you want to go, forward or backwards. It's sort of a bit easy to drive one of these things. And then this device here, this opens the blowdown separator from at the bottom of the boiler and lets the mud and the sludge in the inside of the boiler blow out to the atmosphere, and you can get rid of your totally dissolved solids for all you people that are boiler attendants. And then this thing here is the steam valve that operates the injector. And if we have a look, I'll just get out of the seat and you look down here, there's a little water wheel here, and this little water wheel, you open that first and then you look down and you see what's going on, and then you open your steam valve fully and throttle back the water until the injector starts working, and that overcomes the boiler pressure and puts water into the boiler. And then up here we've got the main reservoir and equalising reservoir, because the driver, when he operates the brake valve over here, he doesn't actually take air out of the brake pipe, he takes it out of the equalising reservoir. And then down in the bottom here is an equalising piston, and that equalising piston then takes the air out of the brake valve, out of the brake pipe, not out of the brake valve. I'm talking through my backside again. Here's Warren. And then over here we've got the brake cylinder that tells you what's in the left and right brake cylinders. And then of course we've got the all-important steam gauge. Not quite as important as the water gauge over here. And you can see here, I hope you can see it, that's where the water level is in the boiler. And of course the bottom of this here is still higher up than the crown sheet of the firebox. Because this is a oil burning engine and not a coal burning engine, we cannot open the firebox and have a look in, because it's got this trapdoor thing here, and it's got a diesel part on it. Look at this thing, isn't that cute? And this thing here, this bit here is the regulator, and that's the thing the driver opens to let steam from the inside of the steam boiler down into the piston valves, and then depending on where he's got this device here, depends on whether the steam's going to the front or the back of the piston. And then it goes chuck-a-lug and off it goes. So that's the steam engine. That's the steam engine man, that bloke there. Are you the fireman or the driver? I'm the fireman, mate, yeah. Oh, he's the fireman. Every engine must have a fireman, you know. You've got to shovel the coal on. In this case, it's oil. He just shovels more oil in the firebox. Let's have a look in the... You can see the fire in there, see? Look at that. That's hot in there. You wouldn't want to be in there. That would incinerate a human body, I'll tell you. He's joking, isn't he? All right, well, thank you, Steam Engine Man, for letting us have a look around your R-Class. What do you do? I'm a conductor. Sorry about that. And here's another water wheel over here for the fireman's injector. You need two injectors. The crews used to call them guns, but I don't believe that. It's an injector. Don't be stooged by the crews. Drivers and firemen, they're no good. Are you going to operate the injector? Yeah, let's operate the injector. So we're going to see, just hang on a minute while I've got to do this, the intro. All right, I'm ready. So we're going to operate the injector here. The fireman man's going to operate the injector. So there he is turning the water wheel on. And if we look out the side, which we'll try and do, we should see the water flowing down onto the... And that's a funny colour, that water, because it's got boiler treatment in it. And you need to have boiler. See, now he's opening the steam valve. And now he shuts the water wheel. Oh, he missed the water wheel. Now he's got to close that down until the water stops flowing out the bottom there. And you'll hear the injector sing in a minute if I stop talking. There it goes. And now we're putting water into the steam boiler. The water goes up and hits a non-return valve, opens a non-return valve, and then goes into the steam boiler. Of course, with the steam going into the water, it also preheats it before it gets into the steam boiler. Big technology, this. All right, I'm free to go now, I think. Or maybe I'm not. So this is a K-class. It was built here at Newport Railway Workshops at some reasonable hour, some time. I'm not sure when. We'll ask if we can go up. Can we climb up there?
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is the driver. He's sitting in the driver's seat. We looked on the R-Class before and we saw the wheel and the automatic brake and all that stuff, so we don't have to explain that again. But we want it. This is the fireman, this bloke. Can you open up the doors so that I can have a look in? So this is a coal burning engine, and as you can see in there, there's the brick arch, and there's a little bit of a deflector Watts it there to stop the fireman throwing coal up onto the top of the arch, and you can't see the top of the crown sheet. But that's a coal fire in there. You can shut it again now, thank you. And then around here, we've got all the coal, see? And they store it in the tender, and then the fireman using this device here, the shovel, has to shovel it out of there and into there. And then they've got a treadle here, and if you step on that treadle there, you watch the... Oh, is it closed? Oh, thank you. So if you step on this treadle, these doors will open, and this is so the fireman can get a bit of a rhythm going. So here we go, we're going to step on this treadle, you watch the doors, and there they are. And then you take your foot off and then they close again automatically. They're fantastic. Are they the ones max fixed?
I think that was on the A2.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I came one day and there was this funny looking steam engine bit on this bench. I said, what's going on here? Yeah, don't worry about that, he said.
Oh, no, that's 160, sorry. Yeah,
was it?
He fixed the bloody lug up.
Yeah, it was broken, yeah. All right then, well, we'll get down now. Thank you for that.
Ah, thank you. No worries.
And if you have a look at this, look how highly polished those connecting rods are. And the coupling rods. So it says there that it's 153, and that's on the right-hand side engine. Oh, look at that. That's a bit off K118. And then there's another bit, it's a bit confused, this bit is off K141 or 151. Wow, there's bits off every K-class on this one. So this is the crosshead, this thing, and this changes the push and pull motion into one of a reciprocation, so it can turn the wheels around. That compressor was done up by Michael Hughes. That's why it's still working. And he's putting the injector on, see? That's the overflow that we missed out on seeing, and then the overflow will sort of reduce down to nothing, and you hear the injector start to sing. This is on a K-class. So here we are, we're having to wander around and see what the other side are doing. And here's John Green.
Hello there, Colin Kelly.
And what do you think of this open day, John?
Absolutely fantastic.
It is, it's good to for the three groups to get together and...
Absolutely, take in the history of the site.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. So what have you got open?
We have our shed with a small sales outlet, the engine on display, and that's about it.
Hello. Good, thank you.
All good.
All right, thank you, John. John's the president of 707 Operations. He's the mover and shaker in this organisation.
I know about that.
No, you are, John, you are. We're going to go and look at your exhibit. So that's a general arrangement of a R-Class steam locomotive. Obviously the tender's missing, but that's the R-Class itself. How much are these? $5. $5, wow. Yeah, you could nearly get them framed and put them up on the wall. It'd be something good to...
Well, they'd be worth framing, yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Good insight into the workings of it.
Yeah.
Actually, realistically, how any stick.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you. So there's the T413. That's fitted with dynamic brake, and of course it was used extensively up in the from Wodonga up to Cudgewar because of the dynamic brake and its light axle load. it could operate over the Cudgewar track, and with the dynamic brake aided coming down the big hills out of either side of Shelley. Shelley was the highest station on the Victorian Railways. So there's 413. My God, Tangerine, the old teacup livery. This is B72, and as you can see, there's the plumbing stack, the fuel pump hanging off the bottom of the plumbing stack, the Michiana filter housing, the water expansion tank. Looks like that bolt's loose, never mind. And then of course at the back we've got the accessory drive end of the engine with the 2 water pumps, the governor, overspeed trip housing, fuel pumps, and then we've got the, it's an old BC engine, so it's got the square handhole covers on it, the airbox and the crankcase. And then as we move along, they come up to the main generator. And then of course you've got the roots blowers sitting up there. There's 2 of them, one on each side. Then in the middle is the auxiliary generator. And then on the end is the air compressor. And the air compressor supplies the air for the brakes. And then up the end there where it says danger high voltage, you've got all the switch gear that takes the current out of the main generator and switches it and sends it down into the traction motors down here, but there's no traction motors. Oh, there's a traction motor. So this traction motor is a, well look on the plate, eh? Is a D27. So it's a D-type traction motor, and it's a the 27th variant. They usually went up in 7, so they started at 7, went up to 17, and then 27. 27 was the earliest one that the Victorian Railways had. And then we went 37, 47, 57, 77, and 77Bs, and then the 87s. And here's Peter Simpkin.
Here he is. Oh, I can't believe that.
How are you going?
I should have realised you talking to your bloody self.
Yeah. This is a J-Class, J541 from the Yarra Valley. It was originally purchased by Adrian Ball, and then it's since been moved on to the Yarra Valley, and it's down here getting done up so that they can run it in heritage service down at down on the Healesville track. But it looks like it's a little way from being operational. Here's our friends in Electrail. Oh, Williamstown Historical Society's here. Hello, Williamstown Historical Society. I'm good, thanks.
You're DERMPAV.
How do you know that? Oh, yeah.
Colin.
Oh, I'm Colin. I should cross it over.
Have a look at our exhibition.
All right, then.
Yeah, do, and do a little filming of it.
I've got my film going. It's filming all the time. Catch up.
Great photos from our archives there.
I see that. There's the 2 McKean cars. They were converted over to passenger stock and operated behind a steam locomotive out on the Altona railway line. They're good old photos, aren't they? It reminds you of a better time. Look out. These guys must be onto a good thing, eh? Look at this, a diesel electric rail motor. Looks like he's making artwork of that, eh? Look at them, they're all dressed up like rail motor drivers.
Funny about that, isn't
This one hasn't got the right badge number. Neither's this one, and neither's this one. This one's an electric train driver, this one's an electric train driver, and so's that one. None of them have got rail motor badges on. One of them had.
That's why.
Who?
You can't find the rail motor badges.
You just gotta know where they all are.
Yeah.
Bet you've got a couple hidden away.
Why would I have that? Don Browning had a whole heap of them. Had is the operative word. God, bloody pipe band, listen to that. This is the Diamond Valley Railway. As you can see there, DVR. Everything's in miniature here. Looks like the real thing, but it's not quite. Everything's quite... Oh, look, here's Diamond Valley people. Say hi, Diamond Valley people.
Hi, Diamond Valley people.
But these are very interesting things. I mean, do you put people in them?
Yeah, so all these roof panels lift off and reveal seats, yes.
Oh, fair dinkum. And then what, you can sit in there?
Yep. There's a seat in there. Can you leave one of these off? Yeah, we can.
Wow.
Yeah, we can.
And
Why don't
you
we
sit
leave
there
the
and,
front one on?
and put your legs on both sides?
Yeah.
And what's the green? What's the light there for?
That's for another driving panel. So you can drive it from any of the 3 driving cars.
Wow. Well, see, there's just, you do things in miniature, and oh, I don't think your springs work. So here's everybody sitting down out at our outside area, and of course we've extended that up the other end of the sails thing. We'll go up and have a look at that. Here's 2 likely gentlemen. Hello, Elvis. Hello, Peter.
We thought we escaped.
No, you haven't, no. Right, what we're going to try and do now is get a ride on one of these steam locomotives. I don't know whether I'm going to be successful, but let's see how we go. And if we do, I'm going to bring you along for a ride.
What's he got here?
Yeah, mate, ready when you are. Sorry about that.
Yeah, go for your life.
I'll keep out of your way. Hello. Who? No, I'm right. Yeah. He hasn't opened the regulator yet. He's letting the white class do all the work.
So we'll get round the curve.
Oh, really?
Otherwise we could have buffers climbing over each other.
Right.
Side radius curve.
Hoping that might be enough to get us up there. I'm thinking very shortly we have to think about how much we've got to get out.
Yeah. You're right, Paul?
Yep, right, off we go.
You can see the draft getting drawn in the fire now. God, you can see why they dieselised.
That's tight.
Yes.
Apparently
Well, that flaky the injectors that don't work.
Yeah. Let me know when you want this one on there, just stay with it.
This is a D3 class locomotive we're on at the moment. And the apron plate's moving around a bit. I think I better stand on the tender. Huh, didn't think I knew it was the apron plate, did you? Alright. The man's going to throw on some coal boxes to make the furnace go. Now the art to shoveling rocks into that furnace is to make sure you fill up all the black spots so that you get the engine to draw the heat in through the new coal you've put in there. And then that starts to burn. And you can see the black spots in the fire. Well, you can't now because you've got a draft going on. Ha, spun the wheels. So there's definitely an art to these tea kettles. And they got Tom over here. Tom's going to come and join and be a steam engine driver.
Oh, maybe one day.
No, you will.
I thought I was going to have to go to Durham first.
This is Tom. Tom's a V-line driver and all he does is laughs at everything. I'll get down if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure thing.
You have to take that chain thing away. Don't let him go without me.
What's it there for, Cam?
Good on you. Thanks for that.
Keep the mosquitoes and the flies out. That's right.
Oh, he's going.
You're right. You're right. Take your time.
Good on you. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Can we jump on?
Yes.
Good on you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You excited, fella?
Oh, yes. Grab a seat. As you can see, they've got some vintage signs in here in the bus from when they were in service. There's some of the routes they used to run.
Not that there's anything wrong, but it's only because I am to bring the hat back to normal speed. It's only on one side. I can get it back.
Keep driving up, you see a green old bus.
Is it worth it?
Keep driving up the road, you see a green bus.
Lady up there one time and she trying to get a good one down there.
We're about to go. Yeah, because we're running to a tight schedule. Good morning, Joe.
Hello, Mr. Kellett. He's the Joe's the Steamrail president. Am I taking what?
I thought you'd be watching the money very carefully out there.
No, they're in full control of it. Who's that? Oh, right.
All the board members are doing their medium tasks today.
Yeah. That's driver Dave there. We'll interview Dave later. There's still as many outside as there is inside. Well, I have to do something. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good on you. We're back where we started.
Excellent.
Mr. Oaten, it's a pleasure, thank you.
Well, thank you for bringing back some.
Enjoy your day.
They were the Tate Suburban Trains. Of course, they used to be quite prolific around the suburban system back in the day, but now there's only these ones that exist. They exist out on farms as well as, you know, chook houses and things like that, but these are the only ones that are operational now that can actually go out into service and carry people, and so they can remember what it used to be like back in the day to ride on a suburban train, when you used to be able to leave the doors open and the breeze breezed in, and people would be reading the Herald, because it wasn't the Herald Sun back then, it was the Herald. And yeah, there's a restored Tate train. Looks magnificent. Most of Steamrail's stuff does look really good now. I don't know, they must have had an image thing going on with it. Let's go up and have a look. Do you reckon they'd have the gen sets running? How are you?
Not bad.
Smells like it's brand new. Well, there's the inside of a Velocity. So we've got a few historic road vehicles here today. Of course, we went for a ride on the bus, and now here we have a Bedford. And that's quite a nice looking machine. And if we have a look around here, so it's got a hose bag. It thinks it's a locomotive. Never mind. I'm sure it confuses the hell out of a lot of people. Have a look at this machine. It's a Vauxhall. What a rocket. And check the radiator grill out. That is a beautiful piece of work. Looks like it's got an aircraft propeller for a fan. Wow, have a look at that. Wow, that is a thing of beauty. Wow. That is very well restored. It's a credit to them. So today we're here with the bus driver of the Heritage Bus. This is driver Dave, and I'll introduce you, or I just have introduced you, and he'll tell you a bit about the bus and whose bus it is and what's happening.
Oh, thanks very much, Colin. Yeah, this is a Melbourne Metropolitan Tramway Board bus that entered service in 1953. It was one of 135 of these buses built, and ran at the Doncaster and the Footscray bus depots in Melbourne. It had a good life. It was actually shortened from a full-length bus to a shorter bus due to a union dispute about running them one man, and 32 seats was the maximum of a one-man bus. So about half of the fleet was shortened to this type, which is called a bobtail bus, and they did originally have a back door and everything. Anyway, it finished in 1980, and I purchased it from the Tramways Board, and was sort of asked to buy it actually, so I did buy it. And my friend John Phillips, he didn't end up getting one in one of the tenders, so I offered it to, so I sold it to him for what I paid for it, and it had a blown up motor, so John and I found a motor up in Sydney, and it got sent down, and John started the meticulous task of fitting the motor and getting it going again. So it did go back into service, and it's been a regular attendee at different historic vehicle runs over the years, and it's in very original tramway condition, the way it would have ended service in 1980.
What's it like driving it in the Heritage service today, going round and round and round?
Oh, it's good. It's good, Colin. But the roundabouts, weren't there back in the days when these were built, and it's a bit of a challenge. And the motorists too that think that you're a bit greedy taking two lanes as you do a left turn. And you've just got to watch those mirrors looking for cars that are going to come up inside you and try and slip around. Yeah, other than that, it's good.
We went for a ride yesterday. It was quite entertaining watching you doing the gear shifts and everything.
Yeah, you've got to be doing everything at once, and it's good. I love it.
All right then. Okay then, so I hope you enjoyed that little bit, a bit of an interview. So Dave's got to get going now to start running the bus. He's got to get it going. We'll stand and watch it start up. I think I can.
In England, the starter button's up at the top there, above the windows, and it's designed so that the driver, because this is not a good habit, doing what I just did, because that could have been left in gear.
Oh, and it takes off.
And it used to happen at North Fitzroy, they'd go around starting them all, and suddenly one of them ran out into Nicholson Street. So, yeah. I went to England, and a mate of mine had an RT, London RT Decker, and he gave me a drive, and I started. And he also insisted you hold your foot on the change speed pedal.
Oh, when you do it.
When you start it, because sometimes with these, there's a seal ring on the gearbox, and it might start to leak a bit of air.
Oh, yeah.
but if you hold the change speed pedal down,
It doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he was quite regimented in how to get down here. But that's all right.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Thanks, Colin.
Good on you, Dave. Thank you. And there it goes out on its first run. It's got to pick up all its passengers and drop off all the signs, and then it's on the job.